Hey everyone, welcome to this deep dive. It's all about exploring different paths to a healthier and more meaningful life. I'm so excited to get into these sources you sent. We've got one on breaking free from smoking and drinking too much. Another one delves into quantum healing. Pretty wild stuff. And lastly, we've got one all about hydration.
It's a fascinating combination of sources, for sure, and it's amazing to see how they all sort of point towards a more holistic, well-rounded view of well-being, even though they seem so different.
Totally. Let's kick things off with the source on smoking and excessive drinking called Embracing a Healthier Path. I have to say, the language in this one really grabbed me. Phrases like paths that lead us astray and shadows that linger. It's so powerful.
You're right, the word choice is really impactful, and it doesn't hold back when talking about the health risks, heart disease, cancer.
Yeah, those are the big ones we all know about.
Right. But it also goes into how these habits can mess with your mental health.
Oh, that's so true. It really paints a picture of how these choices don't just affect you, but everyone around you too, like your family, your friends.
Yeah, it really emphasizes that ripple effect. But you know what I found refreshing? It really pushes for compassion instead of just judging people.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that addiction often comes from something deeper, right? Like stress, loneliness, or even stuff from the past.
Exactly. It's key to understand the root of the problem instead of just slapping a label on someone. And it also talks about how important it is to get support when you're trying to recover, whether it's from your loved ones, friends, or even professionals.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that you don't have to go through it alone. And I love how it talks about celebrating small victories, even rewarding yourself for every day you resist a craving. That can be really powerful.
Oh, absolutely. Recognizing those small wins can really help keep you going and make those changes stick.
Speaking of positive change, let's move on to quantum healing, unveiling the health benefits of this fascinating approach. This one's super intriguing to me. It feels like the place where science and spirituality kind of come together.
Yeah, you could say that. It takes ideas from quantum physics.
Yeah.
You know, the science that looks at energy and particles at a really tiny level, like way smaller than atoms. Basically, it's saying our bodies aren't just physical things. We're also like intricate networks of energy and consciousness.
Whoa, okay, I'm already getting lost. But
Huh.
what really caught my eye was how it talks about intention and consciousness playing a part in healing. It even mentions that thing from quantum mechanics, the observer effect. Is it saying that what we think can actually affect our physical health?
It might sound a little out there at first, but yeah, quantum healing suggests that our thoughts, intentions, and even our beliefs can actually have a role in how we heal. It's almost like using the power of your mind to make positive changes in your body.
So is it kind of like manifesting good health by thinking positively?
In a way, yeah, scientists are still figuring all this stuff out, but people who believe in quantum healing say that if we focus our intentions and stay positive, it can actually influence our health.
Wow, okay. I'm definitely hooked now. It mentions a bunch of potential benefits from quantum healing. Less stress, a stronger immune system, managing pain, and even emotional healing.
The list of benefits is pretty amazing. We still need more research to really understand how it all works, but the idea that we can tap into our own inner resources to help ourselves heal is pretty compelling.
It is. And it even gives some practical tips like practicing visualization. So like imagining yourself healthy and vibrant and focusing on good outcomes.
Exactly. By picturing those things you want, you're basically lining up your energy with your intentions.
Yeah.
And according to quantum healing, that's how you can create positive change.
This is so cool. I love that idea of using our minds to help us heal. Okay, so let's switch gears a little. Time to dive into our last source, the life-saving elixir, unveiling the power of hydration. It feels like a good follow-up to what we were just talking about with energy.
It does, yeah. This source is all about how crucial water is for our bodies. And the way it describes water is just amazing.
What do you mean?
It calls it the elixir of life and the fountain of health.
Oh, I love that. It really shows you how important water is way beyond just quenching your thirst.
Right. And it doesn't just tell you to drink water, it actually explains why.
Like what?
Like how water controls our temperature, carries nutrients to different parts of our bodies, keeps our joints moving smoothly. It's basically what keeps our whole system running.
Makes sense. And it also talks about what happens when you don't drink enough water, right?
Yeah, dehydration.
I've definitely felt that.
Yeah.
Headaches, feeling dizzy, just totally wiped out.
It's the worst.
But then the source talks about how amazing you feel when you're properly hydrated, and it's such a difference. It's crazy how something so basic can have such a big impact.
It really is. And the source makes this really important point about finding a good balance. Dehydration is bad, but drinking too much water can also be a problem. It reminds us that moderation is key, even when it comes to something like water.
Good point. Sometimes I think we get stuck on this idea that more is always better.
I know, right?
And it's not always the case. What I also thought was interesting is that it doesn't just talk about plain water.
Oh, yeah.
It mentions other drinks too, like milk, juice, tea, like all those can help keep us hydrated.
Exactly. It shows you all the different ways you can get fluids, but it also warns you about sugary drinks and alcohol
Why is that?
because those can actually make you more dehydrated. So it's all about making good choices and paying attention to what you're putting in your body.
So true. It's all about healthy choices, huh? Okay, so we've looked at these three sources, one about breaking free from bad habits, another about using the power of our minds to heal ourselves, and this last one about good old H2O. They all seem so different, but they all have this goal of helping us live healthier, more meaningful lives. I'm really curious to hear how you bring all of this together. Like, what are the big takeaways here?
That's where it gets really interesting. If we zoom out and look at the big picture, there's some pretty cool connections between these sources.
Like what?
Well, both the source on breaking habits and the one on quantum healing both stress that you need to figure out the root cause of the problem. You can't just focus on the symptoms.
So, like, instead of just quitting smoking cold turkey or popping a pill for a headache, you need to dig deeper and figure out why you smoke or why you have headaches in the first place.
Exactly. You got to look at the whole picture to really improve your well-being. And here's another connection. Remember how we talked about support systems for people recovering from addiction? Well, it applies to hydration too. Think about everything that goes into the drinks we have, like the people who grow the ingredients, the communities that make sure we have access to clean water. It's all connected.
Whoa, I never even thought of it like that. It's like staying hydrated isn't just about me, it's about a whole network of people working behind the scenes.
Right. And we can't forget about those small victories we were talking about earlier. That applies to both breaking bad habits and staying hydrated. Every time you say no to a craving or choose a glass of water over a soda, you're taking a step towards a healthier you.
I love how you tied all these sources together. They seem so different at first, but it shows how everything is connected when it comes to our well-being. But wait, there's one more source we haven't talked about. The Divine Comedy.
Yes.
So how does a poem from the 1300s fit into all this?
Okay, so Dante's Divine Comedy is way more than just a poem. It's like a story about the human experience. It's about this guy named Dante and his journey through hell, purgatory, and then paradise. And that journey is a metaphor for our own journeys towards well-being.
I'm intrigued. But how does that connect to us trying to live healthier and more meaningful lives today?
Think about it like this. When Dante goes down into hell, it's like facing our own inner demons. Those are the bad habits, the negative thoughts, all the things holding us back in life. And then climbing through purgatory, that's like us trying to get rid of those demons, trying to become better versions of ourselves.
So hell is our struggles. Purgatory is us working to overcome them. And then reaching paradise is like reaching a state of complete well-being and happiness.
Exactly. Just like Dante was searching for redemption and enlightenment, we can look at our journey to well-being like our own personal pilgrimage. We all face challenges, we work to overcome them, and we're all trying to reach that state of optimal health and fulfillment.
It's amazing that a poem written centuries ago can still be so relevant to our lives today. I'm starting to see how the Divine Comedy speaks to our modern-day desire for a healthier and more meaningful existence.
It's a timeless story about transformation and growth. And it's a reminder that the path to well-being isn't always easy. There are going to be bumps along the way. But if we keep at it, look inward, and keep working towards positive change, we can all reach our own paradise.
That's a powerful message. It feels like we've just scratched the surface of all these sources. But you've done a fantastic job explaining the key points and connecting them in such a meaningful way. Wow, this deep dive has been incredible. We've covered so much ground, from breaking those bad habits to harnessing the power of our minds and even exploring symbolism in ancient literature.
And what's amazing is that through all these different topics, we keep coming back to this idea that we have so much more control over our well-being than we realize.
It's really empowering. It's all about making conscious choices, getting support when we need it, and acknowledging those small victories along the way. I've got so many takeaways to try out in my own life.
That's wonderful to hear. And that's what I love about exploring these different perspectives. It gets you thinking and helps you find what truly resonates with you.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, I know our listeners are waiting for that final thought, that thought-provoking question you always leave us with.
Well, we've looked at all these different paths towards a healthier, more meaningful life. So my question for you is this. Which path speaks to you the most? What's one small step you can take today, right now, to start moving towards a more vibrant and fulfilling life? Remember, you have the power within you to change your life.
That's such a great question for us all to think about. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into a healthier, more meaningful life. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Until next time, may you find your path and embrace the incredible potential you have to create positive change.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.